Hare Krishna. Padvyam chalanya pratima sarupo brahmanya devo hi sataha gamyam desham yayo viprakrite adbhuteham tam sakshi gopalamaham natosmi. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of God, Brahmanya Deva, who appeared as Sakshi Gopala to benefit a Brahmana. For 100 days, he traveled through the country, walking on his own legs. Thus, his activities are wonderful. Today, we learn the wonderful activities of Sakshi Gopal with the time which we have. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vindam. All glories to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Nityan Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Prabhu, and all glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chalite chalite ale Yajapura grama, Varaha Thakur dekhi karila pranam. Walking and walking, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his party finally arrived at Yajapura and on the river Vaitarni. There he saw the temple of Varaha and offered his obeisance unto him. Nitya Gita Kaila Prema Bahuta Stavana Yajapura Se Ratri Karla Yapana. In the temple of Varahadev, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu engaged in chanting and dancing and offered prayers. He passed that night in the temple. कटके आयला साक्षी गोपाल देखी ते गोपाल सौंदर्य देखी हैला आनंदिते. Afterwards, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the town of Kataka to see the temple of the witness Gopala. When he saw the deity of Gopal, he was very much pleased by his beauty. So when we see the Lord, are we pleased or not? That is the whole question. Most of the time when I see the deity, I just see for some seconds and I don't have so much relationship with the deities. But here, if you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's witnessing Gopal and then he was very much pleased by his beauty. Premavashe nitya gita kaila katakshana avishaya kaila Gopala savana. While there, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu engaged in chanting and dancing for some time and being overwhelmed, he offered many prayers to Gopal. So this we do when we go in front of Lord, we chant, we dance, and then offer our prayers. Se ratri taharahi bhakta gana sange Gopala ra purva katha sune bahurange. That night, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in the temple of Gopal, and along with all the devotees, he heard the narration of the witness Gopal with great pleasure. So, our capacity to hear, that is an important thing in our life, and how much we progress in our devotions will depend on how much we like to hear. And we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard the stories of Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, hundreds and hundreds of times, and he would hear again and again. But when we see so many devotees, after hearing the story for one or two times, they say, oh, this I know, this I know, this I know. And sometimes we don't like to hear the story again. But it is not that we know the story or not. Actually, when we hear, we are associating with the person, the pure devotee of the Lord, and that is what is purifying. And therefore, even if we have heard the story, still that is not internalized, and till the time it is not internalized, we should hear it again and again. And if we like hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Chaitamrita, that is success of our life. That is, we are guaranteed that we'll achieve our destination very soon. Nityananda Gosai Abhetitha Brahmila Sakshi Gopala Dekhi Bare Katakaila. Previously, when Nityananda Prabhu had toured all over India to see different places of pilgrimage, he had also come to see Sakshi Gopal at Kataka. साक्षी गोप्यालेरा कथा सुनी लोक मुखे सी कथा कहे ना प्रभु सुने महासुखे. At that time, Nityanand Prabhu had heard the story of Sakshi Gopal from the townspeople. He now recited this again, and Lord Chaitanya Prabhu heard the narration with great pleasure. So, see here also, first is hearing and then reciting, and again others here. So, this is the parampara we should take on. We should hear and then recite in this way. The knowledge will not be wiped out. If we don't hear and we don't give it to others, then what will happen? The knowledge will gradually go out, and therefore we should be very much uh, see to it that we also hear and then we repeat it for others. So the some information given. The Sakshi temple is situated between the Khurda road railway station and the Jagannath Puri station. The deity is not present in Kataka, but when Nityananda Prabhu traveled there, the deity was present. So Kataka is a town in Orissa, situated on Mahanadi River. So then Sakshi Gopal was brought from Vidyanagar to South India. He stayed for some time Kataka. And thereafter, he was situated for some time Jagannath temple. And we know that in Jagannath temple, he had some disagreement, Jagannath ji. And therefore, it's called Prema Kala. So Sakshi Gopal used to eat everything, every sweets which were kept for Jagannath. And then what happened is, to settle this quarrel, the king Orissa constructed a village 11 miles from Jagannath Puri, and this village called Satyavadi, and the Gopal station there. And new temples was constructed this section, and now there is a Sakshi Gopal station, and people go to Satyavadi to see and the witness Gopal. So fight will always be there, even in spiritual circles. We should not think that it's an it's a spiritual world. There will no fight. No fight will be there. But how it is settled is very important. So here also we see Jagannath ji and Sakshi Gopal had some loving quarrel. This is not like what we have. And it was settled by building a new temple. And likewise, we see in the time of Prabhupada also, when his disciples would not agree or would not come to a single page, and they would have some quarrels between themselves, something, what would they do is, Prabhupada used to say that you go and open a new temple here. In this way, this was settled. So both the party got their due responsibility. So very important to have seniors so that the resolutions are done for the conflicts very nicely. पूर्वे विद्यानगरेरा दुईते ब्राह्मणा तीर्थ करी बारे दुहे करिला गमना. Formerly at Vidyanagar in South India, there were two Brahmanas who made a long tour to see different places of pilgrimage. So whenever we go to pilgrimage, we should have some association. We should not go alone, is one thing. And second, there is no name mentioned of the Brahmanas. So name was not important. What is important is what is their activity. And therefore we see in Chaitamrita Bhagavatam, Ekada, once upon a time. So it is not called what time. Ek Raja or one king or something is given. So here also, it is not important who are the Brahmanas. What is important is the lessons which they give. And therefore, the name and fame which people are looking for in this world today actually is not of any use as for devotional services done. So people have so many followers on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so many places. But actually, in the race of devotional service, there are hurdles. And the more but the person is famous, the more are his chances that he may not go back to God in this lifetime. It is not that he will not go, but the chances are, because with fame comes so many unwanted things. And therefore, here if we see, name is also not mentioned. And that should be the case. Like we see so many books don't have a name, who is the author and what. So, and if we see even our previous acharyas, their name is not mentioned anywhere. We don't know about their pastimes and all. It is because they don't think that it was important for others to write about them, and therefore their activities they never was revealed in public. And this is what uh, are the standards set by our acharyas. गया वाराणसी प्रयाग सकल करिया मथुरा दे आयला दुहे आनंदित हैया. First of all, they visited Gaya, then Kashi, then Prayag. Finally, with great pleasure, they came to Mathura. So they went different places of pilgrimage and they came to Mathura. वन यात्राय वन देखी देखी गोवर्धन द्वादश वन देखी शेष गेला वृंदावन. After reaching Mathura, they started visiting the different forests of Vrindavan and came to Govardhan Hill. They visited all 12 forest vanas and at last came to the town of Vrindavana. So here the example, the forest, different forests who are in the east side of Yamuna and west side are all given. So this information, yes. वृंदावने गोविंद स्थाने महादेवालय से मंदिरे गोपाले राम महासेवाय. In the village of Panchakoshi, Vrindavan, at the site where the Govind temple is now situated, there was a great temple where gorgeous worship of Gopal was performed. So this was the previous times when the worship of Gopal was performed. And now there is site, the Govind temple is situated. So nothing is permanent, even the temples which are built for thousands and thousands of years are not to be seen today. And therefore, we should not expect that our name or something there in the future. Nothing is permanent. So our life and we ourselves are not permanent. Keshi Tirtha Kaliya Ridadi ke Kaila Snana Shri Gopala Dekhi Taha Kadila Vishrama. After taking bath at different bathing places along the river Yamuna, such as Keshi Ghat and Kalia Ghat, the pilgrims visited the temple of Gopal. Afterwards, they took rest in that temple. So this facility was there previously where they used to take rest in the temple itself. Gopala Saundarya Duhara Manadila Hari Sukha Paya Rahe Taha Dina Dui Chari. The beauty of the Gopality stole away their minds, and feeling great happiness, they remained there for 2 or 4 days. So they had no return tickets like what we have, and therefore they could stay wherever they wanted for a few more days. And they are staying for more days. Dui Vipra Madhyeka Vipra Vriddha Praya Ara Vipra Yuva Tara Kare Karena Sahaya. So one of the two Brahmanas was an old man and the other was young. The young man was assisting the old one. Chota Vipra Kare Sada Tahara Sevana Tahara Sevaya Vipra Tushta Hayamana. Indeed, the young Brahmanas always Brahmanas always rendered service to the older one, and the old man, being very satisfied with service, was pleased with him. So, if we want blessings, if we want to advance in our devotional service, then we need to please the seniors by our service, and that is why we get their blessings. And when we get the blessings of seniors, we can advance more fast. So here, if we see, the young man was serving the old man, and therefore he got blessings, and he was satisfied. Viprabale tumi mura bahu seva kaila sahaya hiya mura divan karaila. The older man told the younger, "You have rendered various types of service to me. You assisted me in traveling to all these places of pilgrimage." पुत्रेरो पिताराय छे ना करे सेवन तुम्हारा प्रसादे आमी na paila shama. Because my own son does not render such service. By your mercy, I did not become fatigued while on this tour. So, when we do anything in life and when we achieve something, then we it is because of services of so many devotees, so many people around us, and we are always dependent. Here also, the old Brahmana would visit so many places because of the young Brahmana, and therefore, we should always be thankful for so many devotees who are helping us in our journey of going back to God. कृतज्ञता हैया तो माया ना कैला सम्मान अतेवा तो माया मी दीपा कन्यादान. If I did not show you any respect, I will be ungrateful. Therefore, I promise to give you my daughter in charity. So, to be ungrateful is the biggest vice in this world. Actually, whatever somebody does to us, we remember for some time only and then we forget. And in life, what happens is people in so many from places have helped us so many times. And generally, at that time, we could not reciprocate. And after some time, we also forget that somebody has helped us. So, actually, this is a sin actually to not be grateful and not to remember what others have done for us. Generally, we remember what we do for others, and generally, uh, we also remember what others did bad to us. But generally, we do not remember what others did good to us and what bad we do to others. So, if we just change that equation, then we will be very much be mm, going back to God very fast, or we will progress in our devotional very fast. So here also, if you see, the older Brahmana got some help from younger Brahmana, and he's saying, if I do not show you respect, I'll be ungrateful. So he's always grateful, and grateful is one quality which helps us a lot in our devotional. If we are not grateful, we will not be growing in our devotional service. छोटा विप्र कहीं सुना विप्र महाशया असंभव कहा के नहीं नाया हया. So he promised to give daughter in charity, and here the younger Ram replied, "My dear sir, please hear me. You are saying something very unusual. Such a thing never happens. If there was some other person, would be very happy. But here the young Brahmana is very practical, and he says such a thing has never happened. So he is saying out of practical concerns, and he is not saying out of emotions. So therefore, the young Brahmana was very intelligent also. महाकुलीन तुम्ही विद्या धनादि प्रवीण आमिया कुलीनार धन विद्याहीन. You are the most aristocratic family man, well educated and very rich. I am not at all aristocratic, and I am without a decent education. I have no wealth. So, wherever marriage happens, it should happen between equals so that the marriage lies for the long run. We have seen so many times in these days that there's a love marriage or some arranged marriage where uh, the there's some mismatch between education or then aristocracy or wealth. But long term, it's very difficult to that this marriage survives because the one who is wealthy and the one who is poor has a different type of thinking altogether. There are different type of friends altogether, and there are different types of job which they can do, and there's so much mismatch. So therefore, it's not easy, and that they can all work together in long run. So therefore, it's very, very good if these things are being taken care of before marriage, so that the marriage stays for the long run. And nowadays, even compatibility matters a lot. That how much they are both compatible with each other. So this should be definitely looked upon. And here Prabhupada writes that this four opulence, one opulence, birth, excellent family, educated, or beautiful, or sufficient quantity of riches, it all depends on one's pious activities in the past life. So if somebody doesn't have this, means his past life was not so pious. But still, bhakti anybody can do, even if somebody is poor or something, then it can be done. कन्यादान पात्रामी नाही है तुम्हारा कृष्ण प्रीत्य करी तुम्हारा सेवा व्यवहार. Sir, I am not a suitable bridegroom for a daughter. I render service to you only for the satisfaction of Krishna. Very important thing, why we do any service. We do any service to please Krishna, and that is our whole motto. So there are different people who do service for different reasons, but our whole thing is that we want to please Krishna, and that for that reason we are doing devotional service. If we are doing devotional for any other reason, that means we are not getting the whole advantage of devotional service. We are settling for something less. And therefore, here also, if we see, he is serving a devotee so that Krishna is pleased. And that should be our whole motto. And actually, he's been given an honor. Uh, at least at that point of time, it was a great honor that somebody is given a daughter to him. But still, he rejected it. So our ambitions and goals should be very clear of why we are doing devotional service. If our sambandha is very clear, then our process of devotional service will be very nice. And therefore, we should think why I am doing what I am doing. This we should think on a regular basis. Sometimes in the initial days, some devotees come for a different motive and then they are pure. And sometimes what happens is initially one comes to devotional service with a very pure motive. One wants to please Krishna, one wants to serve devotee and all. But after some time, one is drifted to altogether different directions. So therefore, one should again check why am I doing devotionals, why I'm serving. Is it to please Krishna or to displease him? This is very important thing we need to see. And here also I say that both are pure Vaishnavas, and in this way the things are taken out. So everybody is servant of servant of servant. ब्राह्मण सेवाय कृष्ण प्रीति बढ़ाय तार संतोषे भक्ति संपद बढ़ाय. Lord Krishna is very much pleased by service rendered to the Brahmanas, and when the Lord is pleased, the opulence of one devotional service increases. So, very important thing, when does our devotional service increase? Not when we increase our japa, our all different things in devotional service, but when by our doing some devotional service, Krishna and his devotees are pleased. So when they are pleased, because of their mercy, our devotional service increases. So what our opulence of one's opulence of devotional service increases when Lord is pleased. And therefore, we should strive to please the Lord by our endeavor. Actually, our endeavor is we do so much endeavor with so many faults. We do our chanting, our mind is distracted, and so many times there are sometimes we sleep, and sometimes the chanting of mantra is not proper. Sometimes we chant only half the mantra, and there are so many distractions. So, therefore, actually, by our chanting, nothing can happen. But if we can just please the Lord by our sincere efforts, by our struggle, and if Krishna is pleased, then he can do wonderful things. And therefore, our bhakti depends on how we please Vaishnava, how we please Krishna. So in this example, is given that this marriage ceremony would not be discussed, but this is not an ordinary marriage, but it's marriage between some Vaishnava, and therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is hearing. Otherwise, generally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sannyasi would not hear of marriage pastimes. बड़ा विप्र कहे तुम्ही ना कर संशय तुम्हाके कन्या दीवामी करिला निश्चय. The older man Brahmana replied, my dear boy, do not doubt me. I will give you my daughter in charity. I have already decided this. छोटा विप्र बने तुम्हारा सी पुत्र सब बहु ज्ञाति गोष्ठी तुम्हारा बहुत बांधव. The young Brahmana said, you have a wife and sons, and you have a large circle of relatives and friends. तासाबारा सम्मति बिना नहीं कन्यादान रुक्मिणी पिता भीष्म का ताहाते प्रमाण. Without the consent of all your friends and relatives, it is not possible to give me your daughter in charity. Just consider the story of Queen Rukmini and her father Bhishmaka. So, very important thing, whenever we take a decision which will impact so many people, we should take their consent, or at least make them aware of what things are going on. In today's time, if people are not involved in the decision making, then they will not help in the execution of the service or any project or anything. So therefore, even in the process of decision making, everybody should be inclusive. We should take opinions of all and do the needful. Otherwise, in part of implementation, we will not find the support needed of the devotees. The times have changed now. Recently, whatever the authorities would say, the subordinate will do. But now the case is not the same. The subordinate wants to know why we are doing what we are doing and how much am I involved in this making. If this is done, then only I will contribute, otherwise not. So in this changing times, if we expect that the devotees will behave without questioning and without argument or anything, then we are in utopia world, which will not happen. So therefore, if we don't consult with others, we'll be alone, have to do so many things. And therefore, it is very important that I was saying consent without the consent of all your friends relatives is not possible to give water in charity. So without the consent of friends, relatives, and everything, it is not possible for us to do any service. Therefore, we need to involve them in decision making and make them feel that this is their project, this is their service. And in this way, if we operate, then there are greater chances of the services being done. Otherwise, it will be facing great difficulties. भीष्म के इच्छा कृष्ण कन्या समर्पिते पुत्रा विरोधे कन्या नारिल्या रिपीते. King Bhishmaka wanted to give his daughter Rukmini in charity to Krishna, but Rukmi, his eldest son, objected. Therefore, he could not carry out his decision. So here, the father wanted to give, but the son was not ready, and therefore father could not carry out his decision. So therefore, when we also want to do some service, if the devotees do not agree, then we may not be able to do our service, because most of the times our service in this is dependent on so many other devotees' service. If others don't do their service, then we will not be able to do our service also. So it is interdependent, and therefore we should take care of devotees, of how we behave with them, and we should try that we at least respect them and care for them, so that the relationship should not be crushed between the burden of the services. Sometimes what happens is, because of the burden of the services, the relationship take a great toil, and therefore we should try that we can maintain the relationships at the same time we can do service. Like the example of is given of Sudama and Krishna when they went the jungle, and there was a huge storm, and what happened is, on one hand they were holding each other's hand, and on the other hand they also were holding the stick which was given them as service. The his spiritual master or guru had told him that bring the sticks for the yajna, and they did both. So this is very important, that on one hand we have services, and the other hand we should have our friends, relatives, or our other devotee friends, and we should not leave. So if we only have devotee friends, then there is no much use because no service is done. And we only have service and no devotees, then we will not be able to survive. So we also need the services to be done. At the same time, we also need the association of devotees. So we need both. And to balance both is a very important skill which one needs to learn with time. बड़ा विप्र कहे कन्या मोरा निज धन दीते निशे विवाह को न जाना. The elderly man Brahmana said, my daughter is my own property. If I choose to give my property to someone, who has the power to stop me? Sometimes we may act in a way where we think that we are owner or proprietor, but we are not. And therefore, in that time, we may speak some very big things, but then we regret, oh, why did I speak? So here also the Yali Brahma is saying that my daughter is my property, but in due course of time we'll come to know that it is not so the case. Tomaga Kanyadiba Sabaka Kari Tiraskara Samshayana Kari Tumi Karaha Svikara. My dear boy, I will give my daughter to you in charity and I will neglect the position of all others. Don't doubt me in this regard, just accept my proposal. So one should not promise such things to devotees which is not in our hand. छोटा विप्र कहे यदि कन्या दिते मना गोपाले रागे कहा ये सत्य वचना. The younger Brahmana replied, if you have decided to give your young daughter to me, then say so before the Gopala deity. गोपाले रागे विप्र कहिता लागिला तुम्ही जान निज कन्या हरामी दिला. Coming before Gopala, the elderly man said, my dear Lord, please witness that I have given my daughter to this boy. So actually in front of deities, we should not take such vows which are very difficult for us to perform. Like we should not say in front of Jesus, for tomorrow, I will never ever speak lies. I will never do this thing or that thing, which is not possible for us because we are human, we will make some mistakes. What we can do is we can pray that Krishna, I want to follow four agreements, I want to chant my 16 rounds daily. Please help me with your power, with your blessings, with your uh, strength. I can do what I want to do. I myself have no strength. For us to chant 16 rounds itself is a big difficult, big task actually. If one is alone, it is very difficult for to chant 16 rounds also because we are in association, we have so much facilities we can chant. Otherwise, not easy, and therefore, we should not take such promise in front of you because once we take promise and if you're not able to follow, then it is a great sin, and therefore, we should be very careful that what promises are we making in front of deities, and therefore we can pray to deities. We can tell them that please, please, please help me in overcoming this anartha or that anartha. But we should never promise that from today or tomorrow I will never do this. So that is difficult. We should actually we promise this four regular principles, and that also we pray to Krishna that please help us. We pray to Sri that please help us to follow the four regular principles and chanting of 16 rounds. So India is still custom for daughter to be offered by word, Vahag Datta. So simply what is happening is by the word of mouth, what happens is one gets married to a man. So this is resolved by the virtue of honest words. So therefore, our words carry lot of power. We should not unnecessarily use our words or say something prajalpa or anything. We should not do this because words have a lot of power. And second, we should honor the words which we give. If we don't honor our own words, then how we expect others will follow what we are saying? And therefore, we have a lot of complaints. People, devotees say that this is not hearing us or that person is not following us. That means actually what is happening is we are not respecting our own words, and therefore others also do not respect of what we say. And therefore, one should speak only after thinking a much. We should think a much and then speak. And one should try that whatever one spoke should one will follow that and will be honestly endeavoring to do things. So words carry a lot of power, and therefore, when not needed, one should keep silence. And here also is given prompt chat is given. So is given that in front of deities, whatever promise is made is considered very sacred, and therefore one does not break the promise. So Prabhupada is saying that if this was the conscience of all people, then so many court cases would be solved because of the being in the front of Lord. So the quarrels can be settled out of court, as happened in the case of two Brahmanas whose disagreement was settled by the witness Gopala. So this is the power of deities. छोटा विप्र बले ठाकुर तुम्ही मारा मोरा साक्षी तोमा साक्षी बोलाई में यदि अन्यथा देगी. Then the younger Brahmana addressed it is saying, my dear Lord, you are a witness. I shall call for you to testify it. It is necessary later on. So the Chota Brahmana, the young Brahmana, is thinking Lord as a person. See, when we go to deities, we just think this is a murti, it's an image of Lord, or maybe Lord as explained in form. We don't think that this is Lord Himself. And therefore, we do not have such relationships. Actually, Lord is present there. Actually, we cannot appreciate or we cannot feel the presence of Lord. Otherwise, Lord is always present in His deity form. And therefore, here also, the Brahmana is addressing the Lord and saying, I will call you the witness if there is need for. So, Brahmana, young Brahmana, has so much confidence in Lord and his mercy that he said, you are the witness. एताबली दुई जन चलिला देशे रे गुरु बुद्धि छोटा विप्र बहु सेवा करे. After this talk, the two Brahmanas started for home. As usual, the young Brahmana accompanied by the elder Brahmana, as if the older Brahmana was a guru, spiritual master, and rendered him service in various ways. So after this also, the young Brahmana always rendered service to the elder Brahmana. देशे आसी दुई जना गेल निज घरे कत दिन बड़ा विप्र चिंतिते अंतरे. After returning to Vidyadhar, each Brahmana went to a respective home. After some time, the elderly Brahmana became very anxious because he had given permission without asking anybody. Therefore, he is very anxious. And therefore, if he took permission, then would have declared it would be nice. But in story, we know that others would have not agreed, and they are all pure devotees, and therefore the things are settled. तीते विप्रे वाक्य दिलु कोई मते सत्य हया स्त्री पुत्र ज्ञाति बंधु जानी निश्चय. He began to think, I have given my word to the Brahman in a holy place, and what I promise will certainly come to pass. I must now disclose this to my wife, sons, other relatives, and friends. So here also is saying what I have promised should pass. So in times the devotee would not take false promises. So once when Arjuna brought Draupadi and was going to home and just he said Kunti that we have brought one gift. And Kunti Maharani was doing some work. She did not turn back to see what gift was there, but she told that please distribute among your 5 sons. And Arjuna was shocked. He said that, oh, this is a wife. How can I distribute? And then Kunti Maharani says, I have never spoken a lie. If something has come from my mouth, means it has to be true. So such was the virtue where people would not tell lies. If something has come out of my, that means there should be something true. So therefore, saying that my promise should come to pass, and therefore it is time to disclose. एक दिन निज लोक एकत्र करिला तासवरागे सब वृत्तांत कहिला. Thus, one day the ideal Brahmana called for a meeting of all his relatives and friends, and therefore, and before them, he narrated what had taken place in front of Gopala. सुनी सब गोष्ठी तारा करे हाहाकार ऐसी बात मुखे तुम्हें नानी बार. When those who belonged to a family circle heard the narration of the old Brahmana, they made exclamations showing their disappointment. They all requested that he not make such a proposal again. So the family members were against him, and this was told by young Brahmana that please check your family members may not agree. निचगन्यादिलीले कुलयै बकनाश सुन सकल लोक करीब उपहास. They unanimously agreed. If you offer your daughter to legal family, your aristocracy will be lost. When people hear of this, they will make jokes and laugh at you. So most of the things which we do is because of social pressure. What will others tell to us if we do this or that? And therefore, we should not come into social pressure, but we should act according to Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. What does the Shastra say? And that we should do. विप्रबले तीर्थवाक्य के मन करियान यावुक सावकामी दीप कन्यादान. The elder Brahman said, how can I undo my promise I have made into a holy place? For the pilgrimage, whatever may happen, I must give him my daughter in charity. Saying that I give my promise and I made it in a holy place. So, in the pilgrimage, so whatever happened, I must give my daughter in charity. So, therefore, the elder Brahmana wants to fulfill his promise. So, generally, we should not promise anything uh, to others, and if we may promise, we should try that we can fulfill that promise. ज्ञाति लोके कहे मोरा तुम का छाड़ीबा श्री पुत्र कहे विष खाइया मरीबा. The relatives, said, if you give your daughter to that boy, we shall give up all connection with you. Indeed, his wife and son declared, if such a thing happens, we shall take poison and die. So generally, this happens in the family, that the family members, they blackmail the elders that will eat poison, everything. So here also is saying that they all told that if you give daughter to him, we shall give up connection with you. So the old Brahman was thinking that whatever I say, others will agree. But this doesn't happen in real life. So in the real life, we should always expect that there will be some disagreements and somebody will not agree what I am saying. So this will definitely be happening. विप्रबले साक्षी बोलाय करी पक न्याय जीती कन्या लाभ मोरा व्यर्थ धर्म हय. The elder Brahmana said, if you do not give my daughter to the young Brahmana, he will call Sri Gopal as witness, and he will take my daughter by force. And in that case, my religion principles will become meaningless. The elder Brahman, he was also pure devotee and knew what will happen. And he's giving forecast that he will take by force. And that way my religious principle becomes useless. So first people were very much scared of doing irreligious things. They would do as per the religion. And wealth was not the first thing, it was last thing. But today, one does not care for whether what people will say to us or how the things will go. But one will care for the money. One will not care for what words or what things one has said or nothing. He will just care that I should get money. पुत्र बोले प्रतिमा साक्षी से दूर देशे ये तुम्हारा साक्षी दीपा चिंता करे किसे. His son replied, the deity was maybe a witness, but he's in distant country. How can he come to bear witness against you? Why are you so anxious over this? So this is the typical mentality of a Nasik person who does not believe in Lord. So he's saying that why he'll come to bear witness against you? It may be deity, but I don't fully agree he can do something. So why are you anxious? Don't be anxious. नाही कही ना खाइयो यही मिथ्या वचन सब कहिबे मोरा किछु नाही का स्मरण. You do not have to flatly deny that you have spoken such a thing. There is no need to make a false statement. Simply say that you do not remember what you said. So tactic is used, do not flatly deny, but uh, you say that I don't remember. তুমি यदि कहा আমি কিছু না জানি তবে আমি ন্যায় করি ব্রাহ্মণের রাজিনী. If you simply say, I do not remember, I shall take care of the rest. By argument, I shall defeat the young Brahmana. So this is a typical mentality that one will argue and one will find out logic. But argument and logic are not useful for coming to a conclusion. Because whatever arguments will make, there will be counter arguments, and these things will never stop. So this should be taken care of. So purport, the son of Ali Raman was atheist and follower of Raghunath Smriti. So he was atheist, and therefore he did not he he did not believe in the deity. He was just saying that because he thought that nobody will come and this will not happen. So this is only the case. एतासुनि विप्रेला चिंतित हयामन एकांत भावे चिंते विप्र गोपाल चरण. When the elderly Brahmana heard this, his mind became very much agitated. Feeling helpless, he simply turned his attention to the lotus feet of Gopala. So this is the shelter. See, when we are in difficulty, when they are faced with a problem, where do we take shelter? This is an important thing. So he is feeling helpless. He's in a problem. What he is doing? He simply turns his attention to lotus feet of Gopala. This is the main thing. Like we have heard Gopinath Patnaik case also. He was being hanged to death. There was capital punishment was given to him. And at that time, all were going to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I will not do anything. But after that, one question was asked, what was he doing at the time when he was going to be hanged for death? And he was told that he was just remembering the lotus feet of Krishna. He was just absorbed and meditating on Krishna. And therefore, this is a very important factor. Where do we take shelter in times of problem, in times of difficulties? That will decide where we are going to go. And therefore, we should making a habit that whenever some problem comes, whenever some difficulty comes, we should engage in the service of Lord. We should put our attention in the lotus feet of Lord Gopal. Or we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Mora dharma raksha paye namare nija jana. Dui naksha kara Gopal lailu sharana. The early Brahmana prayed, my dear Lord Gopal, I have taken shelter of lotus feet, and therefore I request you to please protect my religious principles from disturbance, and at the same time save my kinsmen from dying. So very important thing here also. So the elderly Brahma is saying that please protect my religious principle and also see that my kinsmen are not dying. So therefore only this can help. Only Krishna can do something which can protect both the things. Actually, we don't have such a thing that we will protect both the sides. But Krishna is so unique that he can adjust everything. He will also do the needful at the same time, save the family members also. He can do the needful. And therefore, whenever we are faced like, if we do something, we'll be in difficulty, we'll not do something, then also difficulty. Then our shelter should be Krishna. Ye matta vipra chitte chintite lagila dina lagu vipra tara ghade aila. The next day, the elderly Brahmana was thinking deeply about this matter, while the young Brahmana came to his house. So the elder Brahmana is thinking, and the young Brahmana came. आसिया परम भक्ति नमस्कार करी विनय करिया कहे कर दुई युदी. The young Brahmana came to him and offered respectful obeisance. Then very humbly folded his hands, he spoke as follows. So what he said, let's see. तुमी मोरा कन्या दीते करे अंगीकार एब किछु नाही कह के तुम्हारा विचार. You have promised to give your daughter in child to me. Now you did not say anything. What is your conclusion? तो पहले तो वादा किया, फिर नहीं निभा रहे. ऐसा क्यों कर रहे? Why you are doing this? That you have promised me something and not following. And if we break promises, then the faith on us will be reduced to a great extent, and therefore we should not promise anything. And if we promise, we need to make sure that we do what is promised. एता सुनी से विप्ररह मौन धारी तारा पुत्र मारिते आइला हाट थेंगा करी. After the young Brahmana submitted a statement, the elder Brahmana remained silent. Taking this opportunity, his son immediately came out with a stick and to strike the young man. आरदम मोरा भग्नि चाह विहाइते वामन हैया चांदयना चाहेते धरिते. The son said, "Oh, you are most degraded. You want to marry my sister just like a dwarf who wants to catch the moon." तहा देखी से विप्र पलाइया गेला आरदी नगराव लोक एकत्र करेला. Seeing a stick in the hand of son, the young Brahma fled. The next day, however, he gathered together all the people of the village. So here also, if we see, the young Brahmana was being chastised, but he took the courage to come back and do the needful. At the same time, we will see further that he did not think that the old Brahmana did something wrong. He thought that there must be some problem. He must have done this because of some obligation or because of some problem. So therefore, very important that one should not judge other devotee. One should not think that he has done wrong or something. We should always think that he is right because of something he may have done something wrong, and therefore we should try that we should excuse that person as far as possible. So I think we will stop here and we'll see what does the young Brahmana do next in our next class. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.